One of those days. Okay. Why is that not where it's supposed to be? Okay. All right, let's see if I can get my Dickfinity to work right now. It didn't want to before. Okay. Don't know why it was being like that, but we're good now. Let me do that. And we'll get started here, I think. Yes, 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 that's turned off. Yep, okay. Hello. This remix is from Heated Rivalry, yes. Olive couldn't find the button right. Don't do her like that. Be nice to my Olive. No. Hi, surgeon. She said it? Okay. Yeah, Tattoo. This is a remix by Harrison, though. Make sure we start tapping and doing all the good things over here on TikTok. If you're over there on YouTube, hit that thumbs up button for me. Am I seeing any change or evolution in MAGA? In people who declare themselves MAGA, no. In people who declare themselves conservatives or Republicans, yes. You can killing me with that. I got crabs. Thank you, Peter. Good morning, good afternoon to those of you on the East Coast. I appreciate you guys being here today. It's Tuesday. Yes, it's Tuesday. Sorry, I was trying to calculate the calendar because my kids only have a few days of school left. If you're over here on TikTok, please, if you're in the box, I see you. Oh, well, you jumped out. You had no patience. I see work wife, though, but just give me a second. Let's do all the good things. If you're over here on TikTok, let's make sure we are tapping that screen. We like to hit 50,000 likes before we hit the top of the hour, but that's just me being nice to you. In reality, I know that you guys can do 100,000 likes. I saw you do it yesterday, so let's keep tapping that screen and getting that bar across the top going for me. You can share out the live. You can repost it. You can add it to your story. story. You can share it to 5 of your friends. Do your daily heart me. If you have not done so, that is going to be that little gold heart. If you don't see a gold heart, that means you need to be following me and you are not. So hit the follow button, then do your gold heart, send your daily heart me. That allows you access to stickers in the comments that I have created for you guys. A lot of fun ones of my face. So you can do that as well. Yeah, so make sure you're doing all those things. I have the little roses goal that we're going to get started with. That's usually what I get started with, is the little roses. If we could start pushing those out, that would be fantastic. If you're watching over there on YouTube, welcome in. You can subscribe. You can become a member. Hit that thumbs up button for me, though, either way. And if you do become a member, I would appreciate it so much. But if you don't want to, and sometimes the chat's moving too fast for me to be able to see your chats, you can send a super chat so that I can outright read it. Hi, over there on Twitch. I see you guys. You can follow. You guys can also subscribe. You know that if you subscribe, you also have access to those stickers over there, and you guys can send things called bits. So that's also fun. I have my 100 goal that I have every single day. Guys, this is my job. This is what I do for a living. So if you would be so kind to tip your content creator and the people that you support, I would appreciate it. Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, all in the link trees in my bio. And we can get started today, guys. Make sure we're doing the good things. Hello. Hi.
I couldn't find the button.
Which button?
I was trying to drop everyone.
Oh, the disconnect all one.
Also, you and I almost played this same exact song this morning. I just want to say that out loud. Great minds think alike.
What song did you play that song?
I was going to.
Oh.
And then afterwards I was like, maybe I'll play that tomorrow, but you already played it, so I'm definitely gonna play it tomorrow now.
I was like, to be fair, I played a remixed version, so you can play the actual version if you want.
That's true too. Who knows? We'll see what happens.
Okay, so I have a section that we're going to get started with. Oh, sorry, didn't have the phone lines open and you're calling already. I apologize. Thank you. Mwah. Thank you, Jolie. I appreciate that. Which Jolie is giving a great example of working on my gift gallery. If you click my profile picture and hit the C5, I think I'm C5 gift gallery this week. If you have extra coins you want to dump on completing all of those gifts to be able, not all of the gifts. What I mean is if you find a gift, you have to complete as many as it's asking for it to count for my gift gallery. If we want to light up that gift gallery, that would be great. It helps with TikTok. I don't know why, but it does. Thank you for calling the stream. Can I get your age, state, and who you voted for?
Olive the fat fuck.
You are a child. It's summertime. Okay, so we're going to get started with elections. We did Midterm Monday. I went over the actual dates for you about what those elections are going to be. The big one that we know, but there's a lot of statewide primaries today in different states. But what we, the big one we know about is going to be California, right? So California's having their primary. If you have not already voted, please get out and vote. You guys have big ones in way of your weird fucking jungle primary for your gubernatorial race. And then also for LA mayor, because you know you have that fuckwit Spencer Pratt running. Ruben, you said it's June. Where is the unmute button? Your calendar is wrong, my friend, because what you don't understand, and I've actually explained it, is that when people pay me to mute you, I don't count the days that I don't go live. So a full week does not include the Saturday and Sunday for you, sweet baby child, because I don't go live. So why would I do that to them and count it as a mute when I'm not even here to do this and to mute you? So sorry, Ruben, that time frame is off by about a month or two. But you know, if you would like to mute Ruben or anybody else in the chat that you see that you no longer want to listen to, you don't have to outright block them. We can just mute them for the day, the week, the month.
Do you want someone muted in the chat? Is there someone who's spamming, making disingenuous arguments, displaying bot behavior, or maybe they're just a dumb bitch? Well, you can keep them muted and contribute to their degradation kink. But remember, while we don't kink shame, it is perfectly acceptable to kink ask why. You can keep them muted for as little as $2 a day, $7 a week, or $25 a month. Pay links in the bio.
I'm not silencing people like Nazis. I'm silencing people like Monica because you don't have a First Amendment right here. Maybe you should reread the First Amendment. Okay, so we're going to start with elections. let's start with Trump lying on California and how their ballot system works. Apparently, if you guys are in California, I guess newsflash to you, you guys don't have voting booths.
So next week in California, they will hold their primaries for their governor's race. And obviously, people are paying very close attention to the mayor race there in Los Angeles. Spencer Pratt has come out very hot. People are interested in this. You endorse Steve Hilton. Any predictions for what we might see happen in California, despite the fact that we know it's a little wonky there?
You know, they don't have voting booths. Everything's by mail. So I'd like to say, and I'm a friend
What? California doesn't have voting booths now? When did you guys switch over and do that? It's interesting.
of Steve. I think Steve is great, and I endorsed him. But, you know, I know the system very well. I don't think a Republican can win in California unless you pass the Save America Act. Then they're going to have to show proof of citizenship. They're going to have to get rid of their mail-in voting. No other country, remember.
That's not true. The Save America Act does not get rid of mail-in voting. I don't think he's read it, actually, which, by the way, it's dead on arrival in the Senate.
France used to do it, and they ended it because it was, it was rigged. And you can't do that. You can't have that.
Absolutely.
But again, why do you let him lie to you? Because they damn sure have voting booths in California, so that's interesting. W's to Justin, please, for the $7 for buy sandwich. So you just got another week added on to your sentence, to your penance. I'm not sorry. I was going to say sorry, but I'm not. I'm really not. So W's to Justin for that. That's how that works. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Oh, no. Uh-oh. W's to Juicy Juice for the $7 for Shut Up Sandwich. So that... So that's another week that we get to get. And remember, I don't count the weekends because I'm not here. So that brings us down to 80. What is that? 86? Yes. Yeah, that's that math. So W's to Juicy Juice and W's to Justin. I appreciate you. I keep having to write that down. So that's now 2 weeks so that I can add that in there. Okay. There's a big race going on for the primaries, we know, for Texas. Or not for Texas. We know that the big race is happening. Sorry, they had their primaries. It is going to be Tallarico versus Ken Paxton. This was reporting done by MS Now, but speaking to a staunch Republican voter about how she is changing her votes. Aaron, I don't know which Democrats are defending Clinton. Can you name them for me? Because I would love to blast them so they can get primaried. If you can find me a Democrat who's running for office or currently serving that is defending Clinton. What you won't find is one here. I am not a Democrat. I'm a registered independent. Hi, my name is Monica. Nice to meet you. I'm not in a little cardboard box. Actually, one of my biggest things is the fact that Donald Trump keeps claiming Clinton's in there, Clinton's in there, Clinton's in there. But actually, Clinton has been the only person Donald Trump has been nice to about it, saying, I know him. He's my friend. We get along. We actually get along. But why are they not prosecuting Bill Clinton? I'm with you. Go get him. We know he's a sex pest. Go get him. Okay. So, staunch Republican in Texas switching her vote because of data centers, because Republicans and MAGA and Trump, the administration, refuse to do anything about regulation on data centers.
Quarter-mile away, Cheryl Shadden says the noise is as loud as ever.
It's like living on the edge of Niagara Falls, or you're on a runway next to a jet that's taking off, but this jet doesn't take off.
Morning, noon, night, she even hears it in her bedroom, and it's changed everything about how she lives her life, including her politics.
Red or blue, if you vote against data centers, we vote for you.
A lifelong conservative, she's so angry she refuses to vote for Trump-backed Attorney General Ken Paxton, who clinched the GOP nomination for Senate Tuesday. Instead, she's all in for James Tallarico, a Democrat seeking to flip a seat controlled by Republicans since 1993.
Frags, what is it? What do you mean? Thousands, 1,000 channels doing these dumbass debates, but nobody wants to get off their ass to do anything. Every single one of you is all talk. Here's the thing. I actually haven't debated that very often. I think yesterday was one of the truest that I've gotten. I don't really debate that often because they're too scared to call in and actually talk with factually based information. They have a lot of feelings. So what I do is I run an outline talking about the current events and what is going on and what you can do. And actually, yes, you can. There is door knocking. There is phone banking. I was invited, but I was sick, to do the Memorial Day parade with the congressperson, or the candidate, excuse me, Manny Rutinel, who is going to be running. And actually, I'm going to talk about my local stuff right after we get through with this video.
At this point, to forego basically every conservative issue and let the Senate fall into the hands of Democrats if that's what it takes to kill data centers.
Yep. My entire community is going to break rank. Everybody. All of us. We've had enough.
Breaking rank and coming together.
I voted for Trump.
So what's crazy is even if they are Trump supporters, there are things that are affecting them, like data centers, that they are now changing their minds on their support.
Is that bitch Olive?
Oh, sweetie, you stuttered. Okay, reading Rainbow. Don't hesitate. If you're gonna commit, yeah, you get back in the box because that's gonna work. If you're gonna be a hateful bitch, do it on the first try. Be confident in it. Maybe practice in the mirror a few times. If you're gonna be a condescending asshole, you gotta own that shit. All right. So, which part of this do I want to get to first, actually? That one. Oh, okay. So I did have that video, but I moved it. Let's move it. Let's keep it in that section. That should be where it is. So Trump just recently truthed an endorsement for for somebody who is currently serving, fighting to keep their seat. Congressman Tom Kean is a great representative for the people of New Jersey's 7th Congressional District, a tremendous advocate of our America First agenda. Tom is working tirelessly to keep our border secure, stop migrant crime, grow our economy, cut taxes and regulations, champion small business, unleash American energy dominance, support our brave military and veterans, and protect our always under siege Second Amendment holy run-on sentence. Batman, at least you used commas. Tom Kean has my complete and total endorsement for re-election. Election day is Tuesday, June 2nd. That's today. Get out and vote for Tom. He will never let you down. Find your voting location here, and gives the website. There's only one big fucking issue with that. And that is Trump endorses missing lawmaker Tom Kean. He will never let you down. We just read that. President Trump on Monday endorsed Representative Tom Kean Jr., who has been missing from Capitol Hill and the campaign trail for months. Ahead of Tuesday's GOP primary in the Garden State's 7th Congressional District, in which Kean is running unopposed, so I don't even know why you endorsed him, because he's going to win his primary, because nobody's running against him. The president calls him a great representative. Trump wrote on Truth, we just read it, so I'm not going to do that, giving his total endorsement. Kean, 57, has not voted since March 5th. Has not voted since March 5th, according to the House clerk. So then it gives me a hyperlink. Love that. Thank you. Where you can go and you can find the last time he voted. Look, so these were things that came up on the floor. Not voting, not voting, not voting, not voting. Uh-oh. Let's go back. Not voting, not voting. Uh-oh. Ooh, let's go to like 8. Let's see where we get to. That's April. Nope, still not voting. What did they say? March. Oh, we can't even go back that. Let's keep going. Nope, can't even go back that far. But thank you for the hyperlink. We appreciate it. So again, has not voted since March 5th, according to the House clerk. In late April, the New Jersey Republican said he was dealing with a, quote, personal medical issue without providing specifics on the ailment. Now, we have not talked about this yet, but I saw all sorts of clips. They were asking Mike Johnson about this and where he is and what this medical issue is. Is he fit to continue serving? Mike Johnson said he's fine. Everything's fine. But he hasn't been seen and has not voted since March 5th. Quote, my doctors continue to assure me that my recovery will be complete and I will be back to the job I love very soon, he wrote in a statement. I expect to return to a full schedule and be at 100%. Keene also told the New Jersey Globe on May 21st that he expects to return to Washington and the campaign trail in the next couple of weeks. Well, today is voting day. He also said at the time that his health prognosis is positive with no expected long-term effects or chronic health implications. Now, here's the thing. I'm not talking about his health. I'm not saying good or bad that he has health issues. I would prefer him to be healthy. The point is that the President of the United States is the one... Oh, he's trading stocks? That I did not hear. I did not hear that he was trading stocks. I wonder if it says it in this article. I will scroll. But my point is that the president is, one, endorsing somebody running unopposed. So he's going to win his primary regardless because he's running unopposed. But two, that you were advocating for somebody who is actually not even doing their job. So if he is so unwell, he can't come and vote since March. But if this is correct that he's trading stocks, that's pretty interesting. Despite his continued absence, Keene's official and campaign accounts are still posting on social media. In a Monday post on the social platform X, Keene thanked Trump for the endorsement and encouraged New Jerseyans to get out and vote. While Keene is running unopposed in the Republican primary, 4 Democrats, Rebecca Bennett, Michael Roth, Tina Shaw, and Brian Varela, are squaring off for the nod to take on the 2-term representative in November. The general election projects to be a close one as Keene defeated former Rep. Tom Malinowski by 2.8 points in 2022 and Democrat Sue Altman by 5.4 points in 2024. The nonpartisan Cook Political Report also rates the race as a toss-up, making it one of just 18 with that distinction. Of those seats, 14 are held by Republicans. The GOP is trying to hold on to its slim House majority in November. So, again, he's not even doing his job. He has missed out on voting since March. I don't know why that's not an issue with you guys. Okay. This is local to me, but we're going to talk about it. My dumb, idiot, fucking dumb fuck corporate bot bitch governor, Jared Polis, allowed a commutation. Hi, Oslo. Allowed a commutation for Tina Peters. So we're going to look at the Kyle Clark reporting on it. I'm going to read you pieces from his Substack the night before because she's released now. So what it is he commuted her sentence because it was too harsh and he felt like they were punishing her for her speech and not for her actual crime. She would have been up for parole on June 1st, and she was immediately issued parole, and she is now out on the streets. The first thing she fucking ran and did was run to Steve Bannon's podcast to continue the lies about the election. So, we're going to get into that. But guys, as we're sitting here, make sure you're still doing all the good things. You guys doing fantastic on the likes. So let's keep that up over here on TikTok. If you're on YouTube, please hit that thumbs up button. Remember, you can call and have a conversation with me, but it has to be on factually based evidence and not your feelings. Guys, I have the little, what are they? The little TikTok one coins. Let's work on that. And again, I have 8-6 in my goal. Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, all in the link trees in my bio.
Today marks one of the biggest wins in President Trump's effort to discredit American elections. The win isn't evidence of his election rigging claims, still none of that. This win wasn't even delivered by the president or one of his Republican allies. No, it's thanks to Colorado's Democratic Governor Jared Polis, who boosted Trump's movement by freeing Tina Peters today, less than 2 years into her 9-year sentence for a breach of Colorado's voting systems. Within hours, Peters was back on MAGA media, proclaiming that elections are rigged by voting machines.
I know that the Democrats are going to cheat, and no one's really addressing the problem that I spent my.
Also, by the way, Jared Polis cited the fact that he commuted her sentence by saying she was remorseful. Does that sound remorseful to anybody here?
Going to cheat, and no one's really addressing the problem that I spent my time in prison as retribution for, and that was exposing the election machines that allow the votes to be flipped.
Peters did not uncover evidence of voting machines flipping votes. She's a convicted felon because she got caught.
Again, here we are, 6 years later, 60 court cases later, and there's nothing. Just your beliefs and your feelings in your gut that mean nothing.
Sneaking someone into Colorado's voting systems to turn over sensitive data to fellow conspiracy theorists. Today, Peters defended Governor Polis from the quote-unquote horrible media and the haters who are criticizing his decision to free her. And her attorney and allies said their next step is criminal charges against Colorado's top Democrats, including Secretary of State Jena Griswold.
I encourage Don Blanche. If he doesn't do it, I'll end up doing it if I get to be the AG. But somebody needs to charge this woman for her insurrection, her sedition.
When I'm governor, we're going to work very hard to make sure that she is brought to justice, that she's indicted and hopefully put in jail, and also with her accomplice in a lot of this, which is Attorney General Weiser.
Governor Polis is lying low today after taking a carrot and stick approach to the backlash for his clemency for Tina Peters. Governor Polis munched on a carrot for nearly a full minute as reporters tried to ask him questions about why he freed Peters. And after Colorado Democrats voted overwhelmingly to ban Polis from speaking at party events, he showed up on a party Zoom meeting with tape over his mouth. Vice President J.D. Vance had suggested that Peters could get restitution from the $1.8 billion slush fund set up by President Trump to reward his allies.
He said shtick, but like he's saying it to like, cause like he did, like literally what happened, I have the clip, I just don't have it here, is that Jared Polis was like, all right, for questions. He's like, and I'll eat this carrot while we have questions. And they immediately asked him about his commutation of Tina Peters, and he took the biggest bite that he could of the carrot and started chewing so he could not answer the fucking question.
Who claimed to have been prosecuted unfairly. But today, after strong bipartisan pushback and...
By the way, Jared Polis is not a Republican. This is what I'm saying. Not everything is partisan. He's a fucking Democrat. He's just a corporate bot Democrat.
Legal scrutiny, the Trump administration said it's dropping the idea of the slush fund.
Which even I don't like the reporting that's going around about the death of the slush fund right now. What it is, and I've been accurately reporting it as best as I can, is that a judge has paused the creation or use of this fund pending the legal matter of the former 35 judges, which a separate judge in that case has told the DOJ and the Trump administration they have to respond to. And all that the DOJ came out and said was that we are abiding by the judge's ruling that the fund is paused for now. So the fund is not dead yet. The DOJ is just abiding by the judge's order that they can't continue to create it or utilize it. So I want to be accurate on the reporting. I don't like the way the media has been saying this. The media has been spinning it as it's dead completely and that the Trump administration has backed off on it, but that's actually not the case. W to Dragon's Kelp for torturing me. I don't know. Are you watching on Twitch? Are you watching on TikTok? But I know you're there. W's to Dragon's Kelp for the 1631 for I happen to like decimals and I don't. And you know that about me. I can't with you.
Yeah. It's 70 something, ain't it?
Mm.
Or is it 69? 68?
So W Dragon's Kelp for that. You guys know I'm not good at math. I pull the calculator out every time. Leave me alone. Oh, my husband's here. I brought up the governor.
We're going to use that to mute Ryan Handley over here on TikTok for everyone's mental health.
Okay. You can do that.
Done. You're welcome, everyone. Okay, goodbye.
Bye. Sorry, I didn't pay attention to what was going on down there, and I apologize, but that's what my mods are for. Okay, so I'm going to read some of Jared Polis's Substack that he wrote the night before Tina Peters was released, okay? So, let me see if I can... Brings me to Tina Peters. If you're reading this, there's a good chance that's why you're here as I write this on the eve of her release. Earlier this month, I granted clemency to Tina Peters, reducing her sentence from 8 3/4 years to 4 3/8 years, with a corresponding parole date of June 1st, 2026. The reaction, positive and negative, was immediate and intense. The legal question regarding her unusually long sentence was straightforward. The public reaction was not. Not because Tina Peters is innocent, she isn't. Not because I agree with her claims about elections, I don't. And certainly not because I ever considered pardoning her, I never did. It was a straightforward decision because after reviewing the facts and reading the appeals court decision, I concluded that her sentence was simply too long. So, She had appealed her case to court. Now, what the appeals court did not do is vacate her conviction or repeal her conviction. Her conviction on her crimes still stands. The appeals court said she is absolutely guilty of interfering with election machines in Colorado. However, what the appeals court said was that she needs a new trial for resentencing. They thought that the sentencing was too harsh and she would have a retrial for resentencing. What pisses me off is that Jared Polis intervened instead of allowing it to go back to trial for a resentencing. That is where I have a fucking issue. He goes into her case, right? So, as a Mesa County clerk, Peters abused a position of public trust by deceiving state officials and facilitating unauthorized access to election equipment prior to a routine software update process after the completion of a municipal election in 2021. So again, this is about the 2020 election. After the fact, she believes, and she still believes, that there was fraud in the election and that Donald Trump won without any evidence. And so what she did is she allowed a person not involved in the clerk's office to come in and have access to those machines after the fact, trying to find fraudulent votes. Her actions violated state law, exposed sensitive system information, and forced taxpayers to bear significant costs to replace equipment and restore security safeguards. Those were serious offenses. Public trust is a foundation of election administration. Yeah, you're right, because now we don't trust you. Awesome. Okay. Tina Peters committed real crimes. She violated the public trust. She broke the law. Her actions imposed real costs on Mesa County. She deserved to be convicted. She deserved to serve time in prison. She remains a convicted felon beyond today, the last day she's behind bars. Going forward, she'll have to abide by strict conditions of parole. Those actions were illegal. They were reckless. They warranted criminal prosecution and meaningful punishment. None of that was ever in question. What I could not ignore was that the sentence itself had become disconnected from the crime. The thing is, he could have ignored it because it was going to go back to trial, right? Could have gone back to trial, or not could have, was going back to trial for resentencing. So he could have ignored it. He absolutely could have. W's to Volpaxi for the $5 super chat says, "Hi, I'm a trans femme. Randomly found your account. Happy Pride Month." Well, welcome in. I appreciate you being here. And happy Pride to you. I'm excited. It's our month, and I am definitely going to use during Pride Month for the entirety of the month.
Happy Pride!
Happy Pride! Okay. First, Peters was a first-time nonviolent offender. Second, last month, a unanimous 3-judge panel of the Colorado Court of Appeals affirmed her convictions while rejecting President Trump's claim that he could pardon her for state crimes. At the same time, the court ordered that she would be resentenced because the original sentence improperly considered her constitutionally protected speech and beliefs. So, they're saying that it was too long and that they were trying to punish her beliefs. Nobody told me when my 2 hours are. Whenever you want. We're flexible here.
First 12 hours for mine.
So what Jared Polis is saying is that he thinks she's being punished for her speech. I don't know if he put it in this one, but he has talked about the fact that she was also remorseful. I don't know that he put it in this one. Some have asked why I did not simply allow the courts to continue the process. The answer is simple. Any path through the courts would likely have taken years of appeals. And whose fucking business is that? That's the law. I wanted to provide finality to this case. No, you were getting pressured and you're a little bitch. And as governor, I use my constitutional power of clemency to do what I believe is right, just as he did in a trucker case. As governor, I have constitutional power to address precisely these situations. I've used that power dozens of times to provide a remedy that addresses disparate sentencing and better reflects the seriousness of the crime while remaining proportional to the offense. It's fair that people disagree with these decisions, but the power of clemency exists for a reason, and it's one I've exercised consistently throughout my governorship because I do not believe there are instances where I can make a difference for justice. Hold on, I think I have to sneeze. Excuse me. Tomorrow, Tina Peters will be released from prison. She may continue making claims about elections that I believe are false. She may continue promoting ideas that I strongly disagree with. I hope she doesn't. But in America, people are not sent to prison for expressing political views, however misguided those views may be. That's bullshit. People are put in prison for expressing political views all the time. They're not supposed to be, but they are. So, now I understand where he's coming from. The issue I have with it is what he has now allowed to be released in way of a narrative, because Tina Peters immediately went out again to Steve Bannon's podcast to keep going with her fucking claims that something went wrong in the election that nobody has any evidence for, including Trump or his administration.
I know that the Democrats are going to cheat, and no one's really addressing the problem that I spent my time in prison as retribution for, and that was exposing the election machines that'll.
This is why we're mad that she is fucking released. She is continuing to say that she exposed fraud in the election machines. She didn't. She did not. And Jared Polis has allowed this.
And that was exposing the election machines that allow the votes to be flipped.
I know it's quiet. I can't make her louder. I apologize for that. So there's that. W's to Sammy Grace. W's to you. You said that your pronouns are they. You're a T-fem. Sorry, not your pronouns. I apologize. That you are a trans femme. By the way, thank you so much for the $2. I call that a tutu twain tutu. Thank you so much. Happy Pride Month. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. So that's gonna bring this down to 6'7", 6'9". So we still get some naughty, but we get some 6'7" as well. And then this is just a notice, just so anybody knows. I would like to stream it, but I have to check with my brother whether I can use his rig to do so. If not, then I'll just cover it tomorrow. But our gubernatorial, if you don't know, means governor. Jared Polis is out. He's done, which is why it's really annoying that he's doing this dumb shit just because he can, because nobody can do anything about it. Our gubernatorial race is coming up. Our primaries in Colorado are coming up on June 30th. So the gubernatorial debates are also coming up. So if you are in Colorado, I just want you to pay attention. We will be going over it because it is important tonight. So again, I want to stream it. If I can't, that's okay. I have it recording. I will watch it. The Republican primary debate is tonight at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. That is going to be between Barbara Kirkmeyer, by the way, was my previous congressional candidate here in Colorado. But Barbara Kirkmeyer, Scott Bottoms, and Victor Marks. If you haven't heard about Victor Marks yet, hold on to your hats, because I believe we might do a. Anyway, if you haven't seen the videos about this man, he claims to have killed somebody at the age of 7. When asked if he's killed anybody else, he answers, well, as a child, only 1. He talks about the amount of women and children that he has saved, but also says that tweet, he never wrote it, even though it was on his Twitter. The man is batshit fucking insane. So I really want to see how he answers questions in regards to the Republican primary. Now, the Democratic primary debate is going to be June 4th at 6 p.m. So that's going to be Thursday, and I'm also going to record that. I would like to stream it as well. Michael Bennet and Phil Weiser. You don't know how you feel? I don't either. I don't know. Michael Bennet has done a good job of speaking at the Trump administration in Congress. He has. He has combat them in that way. But I don't know if he's a lot more corporate than I would like him to be. I actually like Phil Weiser more because since he's being in the Attorney General office, doing the job, actually litigating and suing the Trump administration. But that's why I am excited for this primary debate, because I want to see how they both answer questions, because right now I'm kind of undecided. So, again, I hope I can stream it. If not, I will try to cover it as best I can after the fact.
Parker said green up.
Wait a bit.
Parker said green up.
I don't see anything yet.
Parker's mom doesn't see green up.
Not this communication. All right. What do I want to move to? So the economy is closely tied with Iran right now. And the issue with that is instead of the Trump administration saying we are negotiating a deal and working for that for months, what they keep doing is this roller coaster of we will have a deal tomorrow or we will have a deal within a week. The deal is going to be done over the weekend. They keep saying this, and though the stock market keeps going back up, and then we come back to Iran's not talking anymore, or Donald Trump says he's done talking, and it falls apart again. It is market manipulation, but it is also the fact that they they just want to win and they can't seem to find one. So our economy is just closely tied with that. So Fox Business actually comes on and critiques the Trump administration about this flip-flopping when it comes to the deal with Iran. And so that becomes an issue here. I need speech lessons. I could I say that, fuck up that word. To be honest, so yesterday, I don't know why it's every day, the start of the week. The start of the week, the microphone does not pick up my feedback, and the rest of the week it does. So when I hear myself, it makes it harder and I stumble over words. I'm sorry if you can't keep up.
That's the part of the negotiation.
UFO, if I'm the problem, you need to learn how to spell "you're" the correct way. You are.
Tactic on our side that I don't necessarily love. We've got to have a deadline. People have to have expectations on both sides of the negotiation, but also the American people to know what we're doing. So, speaking to another outlet, the president actually shrugged off the possible collapse of these peace negotiations, and he said, this is a quote to CNBC, "I don't care if they're over, honestly. I really don't care. I couldn't care less."
My worry, the American people really care. And that goes to what
Which, by the way, we'll get into that story in just a minute.
I was not so eloquently trying to say last hour, is that given the...
Thank you, Robert, for the jewels, by the way. Or not Robert, I apologize.
And it is suffering that Americans have experienced the last 6 years. It is the vice grip of high prices and inflation and high interest rates to fight it.
So remember, you have a president who says he doesn't care that the talks are falling apart as our economy continues to kind of fall apart because of that. So there was an idea of a tentative deal again yesterday. So the stock market tried to rally, the prices tried to come back, but yet here we are again at about $93 a barrel. And this is just for WTI crude, not even Brent. We're not even looking at Brent in that model. So interesting in and of itself. But we're going to finish this little portion with the economy real quick. Jamieson Greer came on CNBC and started touting the fact that when they are talking about tariffs, they're taking a nuanced stance to tariffs. And CNBC, rightfully so, calls them out for that because they were not taking a nuanced take on tariffs up until now because they weren't popular.
So there's been more nuance to it than people realize. Just last night we released a proposal on tariffs on Brazil for a number of unfair trading practices they had. And again, that was something that was quite nuanced. So we're trying to go very carefully to change the terms of trade between the United States and the rest of the world, and also be careful.
But Jamieson, to be fair, I think that's a more recent approach to it. When we had Liberation Day last April, those were exactly the complaints we were hearing from grocery store owners and others saying we can't buy bananas anymore.
So remember, Liberation Day in April of last year. That was the big thing that they did with tariffs. His tariff policy was reciprocal tariffs, and they tariffed literally everybody, including islands that only had penguins and weren't producing. So this idea that they're now taking a nuanced take on tariffs is interesting to me because that's the taco. That's the taco.
Because we don't grow them here, and every country that does, we've got these huge tariffs on it. Is it fair to say that it's become more precise as you've gone along?
Well, I never heard they couldn't buy bananas. There was never a banana shortage in the U.S.
That's what Target CEO told us on air.
I never heard anyone having a banana shortage. We never saw any news of that. We did have tariffs on other products for those first 6 months or so. These served as leverage, and when we were able to finally get deals with a lot of these countries that produce those types of product, the Ecuadors of the world, Indonesia, Vietnam, and others, those who make coffee. Well, once we had those deals in place, we were able to jettison those tariffs. Again, we're trying to have tariffs.
What deal? 90 deals in 90 days is what Peter Navarro said, but we haven't seen that.
Applied to reshore, to protect American production, and where we don't need to have a tariff, you don't need to have it. But our sense is we have a giant trade deficit, we have a lot of offshoring, so we do need substantial tariffs applied in a smart way.
Except that that's not working. Now, he said he did not hear CEOs complaining. Now, specifically the claim about not being able to buy bananas. Now, I agree. I don't know where that's coming from, but I did find the video on the Target CEO talking to CNBC, so I will get that. I have to pause it so that I can bring it up, though. Stop it. Try to see if I can get... Okay.
We're going to try to make sure we can do everything we can to protect pricing. But if there's a 25% tariff, those prices will go up.
For things like what? Strawberries, avocados, bananas? What are we talking about?
You've got that list right.
Is that so?
Those are some of the key items.
And those prices could change within days in the
Could
stores.
change certainly over the next week.
Why? Because we can't make... We have very few states that can produce bananas and not at the rate at which we consume them. So the prices go up. Okay. Let me go to where we went from Fox Business on Iran flip-flopping. Let's go to that. So, let me see if I can find that. Ooh, excuse me. Donald Trump posted truths yesterday talking about talks are continuing. Remember, Iran and Iranian state media came out and said that they are not speaking with the administration at all, that they're not speaking with them. They're done. Donald Trump said talks are continuing at a rapid pace with the Islamic Republic of Iran. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. Which again then is interesting because we got this CNBC reporting on his talk with Eamon, is it Eamon or Eamon? I'm not sure. Eamon Javers. President Donald Trump on Monday shrugged off the possible collapse of peace negotiations with Iran, telling CNBC, quote, "I don't care if they're over, honestly. I really don't care. I couldn't care less," Trump told CNBC's Eamon Javers, in a phone interview midday Monday, saying he thought the protracted discussions, quote, I want you to hold on to this one, started to get boring. Hold on to that one for me. Trump had been asked about the prospect of Iran ending talks with the U.S. in light of reporting earlier Monday that Iranian negotiators would take that step and also move to completely block the Strait of Hormuz due to Israel's military operations in Lebanon against the Iran-backed militia Hezbollah. Asked if the Iranians told him that they are not going to negotiate further, Trump said no, they haven't. Trump said he was going to ask Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu what's going on with Lebanon. Trump said in a Truth Social post that he had a very productive call. I will get into that later. And then they quote the one that we just looked up. Netanyahu in an X post later on Monday said he told Trump that if Hezbollah does not cease attacking our citizens and our cities and citizens, Israel will attack terror targets in Beirut. This stance of ours remains unchanged. In parallel, the IDF will continue to operate as planned in southern Lebanon. So Netanyahu told Trump to fuck off, which is interesting because I thought that Trump was such a great negotiator. I thought that he didn't get told what to do. In his call with CNBC, Trump said he wasn't worried about oil prices, which had spiked after Iranian state news outlets Tasnim reported earlier Monday that Tehran was halting negotiations and clamping down on the Hormuz Strait. I think the oil will be dropping like a rock in the very near distance. But he also insisted that Americans who understand the importance of halting Iran's nuclear ambitions will not mind higher gas prices as a result of the war. Again, nuclear ambition that you've not been able to prove that they had. And why are we bombing ambition? That's interesting. Once you explain that this is all about Iran having a nuclear weapon that they never had, people are willing to pay a little bit more. I don't know who the fuck people are, because the polling is that people are worried about their finances and the economy and that are actually disapproving of Trump and his handling of it. Trump asserted that prices at the pump will drop very quickly, but he also repeatedly signaled that he was in no hurry to restart the stalled negotiations with Iran. If they're over, they're over. If they're not, I think they took too much time. Frankly, again, remember this part, frankly, I thought they started getting boring, which is an interesting statement for him to make. And I'll show you why. Let me just highlight this. Because this was Donald Trump in March when he was asked about the war in Iran and about when they were going to get a deal to make it stop.
Somebody said today, they said, oh, well, if the president wants to do it really quickly. After that, he'll get bored. I don't get bored. There's nothing boring about this. Do you agree with that, Pete? I don't.
Oh. I won't get bored. I don't get bored. this is your president. This is your clown ass fucking president that for some reason you guys glaze the taint of, are too fucking cowardly to call in because you know I'm gonna crush you on the facts because you don't have facts. You just have feelings in your tum-tum about him. And I don't know why you have feelings in your tum-tum about him. He's not gonna pick you. He doesn't give a fuck about you. He literally just said he doesn't care about the oil prices spiking and he thinks that people are okay with it when we have seen from polling that people are not okay with it. And in March he said he wasn't gonna get bored and now he's saying that the talks were becoming boring. It's interesting. Anyway, let's get to the truth about Israel that they cited in that article. I would like to get to that. No, actually, real quick, one more on the board topic. So Rubio is in front of Congress right now, and Senator Murphy asks him specifically about the fact that what are the objectives if the president is getting bored? I apologize.
There is a cost to the Iranian economy, but now there is a devastating cost to the U.S. economy. It has been indecipherable, the information coming from the administration, especially in the past several weeks, as we get signals that a deal is imminent. The president said yesterday he's bored by the negotiations. He doesn't care whether we get a deal.
For a picture.
I think it's really important for us to understand what your bottom
I don't know
lines are.
I don't know whose staffer is talking in the fucking background, but they are.
What you're asking for in this negotiation, what commitments you need Iran to make in order for you to release the blockade, and we hope for them to release the blockade as well. So give us a little insight into what your bottom lines are, what is going to get the Strait reopened, because this is kind of the only question that matters for American consumers right now. And every day we get wildly different signals from the president as to whether he even is engaged in this question as to whether the Strait is going to reopen.
Yeah, I think your question gets right to the heart of the matter. So I think it's a good question.
That's a good question. Do you not know the answer to that, Rubio? I would like to see the answer. I'm sure we'll get more clips of that as it goes on. I do have a few more with Rubio for later. But if Donald Trump is getting bored after he said he wouldn't get bored, what is the objective and what are we doing? Guys, there's 93 of you over on YouTube. Can you make sure if you haven't already that you hit that thumbs up button for me, please? I would appreciate it so very much. You can hate watch and you can hate tap, or hate like, whatever. That's not my issue because we all know you're too scared to call in because you don't actually have any facts. You just have a lot of feelings about Trump. All right. So, and real quick before we get to the Israel of it all, Donald Trump tweeted this this morning. I'm just going to read a part of it because I want you guys to know this is the third time he has truthed this same truth. The exact same one. He has copied and pasted it for a third time now. If Iran surrenders, admits their military navy is gone and resting at the bottom of the sea and their air force is no longer with us, and if their entire military walks out of Tehran, weapons dropped and hands held high, each shouting, I surrender, while wildly waving the representative white flag, and if their entire remaining leadership signs all necessary documents of surrender and admit their defeat to the great power and force of the magnificent USA, the failing New York Times, the China Wall Street Journal, the corrupt and now irrelevant CNN, and all other members of the fake media will headline that Iran had a masterful and brilliant victory over the United States of America. It wasn't even close. By the way, I said I'd read one sentence. That was one sentence. One giant run-on sentence. But again, he has posted this 3 times. W to that Crow guy for the $9.99 super chat. Thank you. You said, keep doing what you're doing. Information is power, and you are showing and speaking truth, the truth to power. Thank you so much. W's to you. I try. That's why they don't like me. They keep saying, keep getting mad at me, but they don't have any counter facts. So that's sad for them. But he's posted that 3 times. All right, now to his truth on his talk with Bibi Netanyahu, because it was a very interesting truth. I had a very productive call with Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu of Israel, and there will be no troops going to Beirut, and any troops that are on their way have already been turned back. Likewise, through highly placed representatives, I had a very good call with Hezbollah, and they agreed that all shooting will stop, that Israel will not attack them, and they will not attack Israel. It's interesting. I don't know how you get the phone call to Hezbollah. Just the entire group, I guess. The entire group? I don't know. Sure. You're saying yesterday's news, John. Is it yesterday's news? How about this? Is this yesterday's news by chance? Because this is literally today. Israel strikes South Lebanon after stepping back from Beirut attack. Israel kept up strikes on southern Lebanon on Tuesday, pressing its campaign against Hezbollah a day after U.S. President Donald Trump asked Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu not to attack Beirut to avert further escalation in the 3-month-old war. Following Trump's intervention, Lebanon's government said Israel would refrain from carrying out threatened strikes on the Hezbollah-controlled southern suburbs of Beirut, while the group would halt attacks against Israel. But the announcement has failed to reassure many Lebanese or halt the broader war in South Lebanon, which Netanyahu has vowed would continue. The din of an Israeli drone over Beirut kept residents on edge on Tuesday. The Lebanese government had said it would seek to expand the ceasefire in talks with Israeli officials in Washington that had began on Tuesday, the latest in a series of face-to-face meetings Beirut has attended despite Hezbollah objections. Iran has demanded a Lebanon ceasefire as part of any wider deal with the U.S. to end the 3-month-old war that began with U.S. and Israeli attacks on Iran at the end of February. Remember, we started it. But it doesn't seem like Donald Trump holds a lot of power over Bibi Netanyahu, and so it's interesting that you guys keep calling him some sort of war hawk that's very good at doing deals, because he doesn't seem to be very good at doing deals. It seems like Bibi Netanyahu is very good at swaying Trump, or just not listening to him altogether, which is interesting. All right. Same vein of Iran, we are going to move to some of the clips that I was able to catch this morning of Rubio speaking in front of Congress. But before we do that, I see that we are at 66,000 likes, which means we went above our goal of 50,000 an hour. I know you guys can do it, and I know you guys can do better. So let's keep tapping. I promise you that your partners will thank you for what those fingers do by practicing here. I'm just trying to help you out in the bedroom. That's all I'm trying to do. So let's keep tapping that screen. I know we can get to 100,000 likes really, really quickly. So keep doing that. Again, if you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up button if you haven't already. And over there on Twitch, you guys are just kind of there in the angel zone. But if you would like to subscribe to have access to stickers, you can. And don't forget that you can send bits over there. I've seen jewels and things being sent on YouTube, and obviously the super chats we have received that I put on the screen. Thank you guys so much. You like my shirt? Thank you. I love my shirt, and it's a Habsy. All right. So also I have 6,769 left in my goal. If you guys would like to contribute to that, we can do a $1 train or a $2 train to get that knocked down today. We have about an hour to get that knocked down. So let's do that. What? I'm sorry. Was that too much for you? So let's work on that. Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, all in the link trees in my bio. Just Monida is the name for all of those accounts. Let's start working on that. I still didn't see anything from Parker's. I just wanted everybody to be clear on that. I promise you I'd read it if I saw it, so I don't know what happened. So we're going to move to Senator Kaine, and he's asking why Congress has not been able to see the OLC, Office of Legal, why we haven't been able to see their legal opinion about the war. And so he's going to have that conversation with Rubio, why Congress is being kept out of that information. Are they mad about the likes? Yet no, I'm talking about there's TikTok, YouTube, Twitch. I'm on all of those platforms for your viewing pleasure.
Here's the second question. Again, in your dual role, Secretary of State, National Security Advisor, the administration's Operation Southern Spear, we could agree with it or not, but the administration presented a legal opinion from the DOJ that we could review. Absolute resolve, the effort against Maduro. The administration presented a legal rationale that we could review. Now, we could review both in classified. They've not been made public. We're 92 days into a war against Iran, and the administration will not let Congress look at the OLC legal opinion justifying the war. Intel committee members, SFRC members, Armed Services Committee members, rank and file members, the administration will not make it available to us. Now,
which is interesting because they should have access to that as a check and balance in the system. Carrie Christie, did you mean to respond or to request?
No.
Okay, no worries. I'll drop you down. I just wanted to make sure. I didn't think so, but I just wanted to make sure. So, W's to Jolie for the $2.02 train. Thank you for all your work to present great content. Thank you for supporting. I see you come in every day and sending a heart me and sending a like, Jolie. I just want you to know that I do see you, so thank you so much. Okay, I can do this math in my head, but like just shh. Give me a second. I appreciate you. All right, Tim Kaine.
You can imagine, A, we're the Oversight Committee. B, you're here asking for a budget. And in the Armed Services Committee, they're asking for $1.5 trillion, an increase of 40% over last year's budget, but won't let us see the legal opinion. And Mr. Secretary, you know what kind of thinking we do. If you showed us the legal rationale for 2 wars and you won't show us the legal rationale for the third, is there something in the rationale they don't want us to see? Is there a dissenting opinion that says it's not legal? Are there conditions like you can't strike civilian infrastructure like schools and bridges? Are there factual assertions like the war will be over in 2 days or Iran will never close the Straits of Hormuz? By not sharing the legal opinion with the Article 1 Oversight Branch, you give us the opinion that there's something in there you don't want us to see. Could you use your influence as...
So what he's saying is there, because he doesn't know. That's the whole point, is that they are not releasing the legal opinion in regards to justification or critique of this war. Congress has not been able to see it. They would like to be able to see it. And he's saying, are you guys hiding it because there is something in there that goes against the administration's narrative? Is that in there? And he's asking Rubio if he has any sway in way of making that happen to be released to Congress.
The president's chief national security advisor, Secretary of State, NSA, to get the administration to share the Iran war legal opinion with Congress?
Well, look, first of all, obviously the Department of State does not develop the legal opinion. That's
But you're the
legal
national,
counsel.
you're the chief national.
So I think what you're asking is why haven't the Office of Legal Counsel provided it? They don't work for the National Security
I'm
Council.
actually
They don't
asking,
work for me.
Will you use your influence as
Well, I will
President's
certainly
chief
inquire as to
national
why.
security
Here's what I'll do.
advisor?
I can certainly inquire as to why it has not been available. I don't think there's a reason why. I am not aware that. In fact, my understanding is they have provided documentation to the committee and
Not the opinion.
as part of the war.
Not the opinion.
Well, that's different.
And you wouldn't accept that.
All right, well, let me take
sitting
that
on
back
this
and ask
side
the
of
Office of
dais.
Legal Counsel. But it's certainly, they provided the legal rationale for the strike. You're asking for the actual written opinion the way
Which
it was in the
they
other.
provided us
All
in
right, I
Southern
understand.
Spear and Absolute Resolve.
I'll
Thanks,
take
Mr.
that
Chair.
back.
Thank you.
So where is it? No? Oh, okay, Rubio. So then Rubio gets, he's going to get asked about the sanction extensions, the relief of sanction extensions for Russia, right? So what we did is we've had sanctions on Russian oil since they invaded in 2022. Those have been relieved, and specifically because of what's going on in Iran, we were allowing Russia to now sell their oil to the world market, which then puts money in their pocket to continue the unjustified war with a sovereign nation of Ukraine. And that those extensions have time limits, and Rubio is going to say that over and over. The problem is that we keep extending the sanctions. We keep, or the relief, excuse me, the pause of them. We keep giving them more and more extensions to be able to sell Russian oil. And so there's really not a time limit on it if you keep extending it.
Benefited from this. So these are time-limited extensions that
Well,
ultimately at
we've
some point
certainly
will expire.
benefited China and Russia's economy.
Well, China doesn't. I mean, China refines oil. They
John Fisher, I'm not a liberal, so cry harder. You can't trust a liberal even as a doctor. That's interesting. They have to go to school. It's a waiver. Thank you, Newshound. I could not find the word for some reason.
import a lot, but they refine oil, and
But they also benefit from Russian oil. But my question for you is, can you commit not to extend the general license again when it expires on June 17th?
Well, that ultimately is a decision that's made by Treasury, but I will tell you, it depends on the circumstances at the time. We would like to end it as soon as we possibly can because the underlying policy of this country has been to sanction their oil. These are time-limited waivers for the purpose of opening up more global supply.
I understand that, but if we continue to extend them, they're not time-limited.
Benefit.
If you continue to extend the waivers, they're not time-limited, which we've already done a couple times. Now, Keating goes into having no faith in Steve Witkoff being the one doing these negotiations in regards to Russia and the advice that we're getting from Witkoff about how to handle Russia, because Witkoff is just there on the back end lapping it up.
Some questions, too, about our own envoy, Steve Witkoff. I mean, he met with Putin at length. he came out of that saying Putin is trustworthy, that this war criminal is a good guy, that he trusts him, and even gave advice to Yuri Yushkov, a top Putin advisor, how to flatter our president, how to manipulate our president to the Russians. That just didn't provoke a concern and a feeling on my part that he's not up to the job. But even a colleague on the Armed Service Committee on the other side of the aisle, Representative Bacon, said, the guy should be removed. I mean, you're in a difficult spot to answer that, but I must tell you, it just reinforces to me that at the end, there has to be some kind of military provision in place, not just words with Putin, to make sure he stops. And this is completely relevant to the Baltics because they're next.
So Witkoff helped advise one of Putin's advisors on how to best placate Trump. It's like, what? Why are we doing that? Why are we worried about placating Trump? I thought Putin was our enemy. We shouldn't be worried about that. So Shaheen does something similar in that conversation with Rubio as well about what we are giving to Putin and how we are just allowing him to do whatever. But she really is calling out Rubio for previous statements he had made where he said we can't trust Russia, and now we are here trusting Russia.
In 2017, you wrote, as a senator, that Vladimir Putin will never be a trusted ally or a reliable, constructive partner. But since taking office, you, the president, the vice president, Steve Witkoff, not one of you has been to Ukraine. And yet, your envoys talk to Putin on a regular basis. The president has invited him, given him the red carpet treatment on American soil. But yet, you won't come up here and brief Congress on any of it. And decisions Congress has made on Russia have been systematically undermined. Congress passed support for Ukraine. The administration has slow-walked it. And instead of sanctioning Russia, the administration issued oil licenses that have sent billions to Moscow. Congress has asked what this approach has produced. Russia has conducted 5 times more drone strikes on Ukraine since 2024. More U.S. businesses are being directly targeted than at any point in this conflict. And Russia is providing targeting intelligence to help Iran hit our facilities and personnel in the Middle East, while we're helping them fund this war.
Because by giving them these waivers, it allows them to continue to fund this war in Ukraine. Why we're doing it? I don't know. So, Rubio is then asked about doing a deal with Iran and giving them sanction relief or a waiver in way of doing that deal. And is that a plan?
In order to get to that second phase, are you willing to release sanctions or release frozen money that the United States is withholding from Iran?
Right now, everything that's been discussed with them is that any sanctions relief. Now, remember, sanctions come, there's international sanctions, there's congressional sanctions, there's executive sanctions. So some we can release and some we cannot. But any sanctions relief is condition-based, which means it has to be in return for the reason why those sanctions were put in place in the first place, which is their nuclear program. So yeah, look, Iran is being sanctioned because they enrich uranium. Iran is being sanctioned because they've highly enriched uranium. Iran is being sanctioned because of their nuclear activities. If they agree to give up those things, there will be sanctions relief associated with their commitment and compliance with those agreements.
Relief.
What does that mean? Their commitment and their compliance. Their compliance to what? Because Pete Hegseth already came out and said that what they have not given up is their ambition. How do you police? How do we oversee ambition? How do we do that?
Just in exchange for reopening the strait.
No, that's not been discussed. That's not been offered.
So apparently sanction relief has not been offered for just opening up the strait, even though that seems to be the only thing they care about, which, by the way, it would not have been closed if it weren't for Israel and the U.S. attacking Iran. So I want to go take us back a little bit and go to Rubio circa 2016 and how he felt about Donald Trump. The man sold his soul, which is why you can see it in his eyes. It's no longer there.
But yeah, here's what happens in many countries around the world. You have a leader that emerges and basically says, don't put your faith in yourselves, don't put your faith in society, put your faith in me. I'm a strong leader, and I'm going to make things better all by myself. This is very typical. You see it in the third world. You see it a lot in Latin America for decades. It's basically the argument he's making that he single-handedly is going to turn the country around. We've never been that kind of country. We have a president. The president is an American citizen who serves for a period of time, constrained by the constitutions and the powers vested in that office. The president works for the people, not the people for the president. And if you listen to the way he describes himself and what he's going to do, he's going to single-handedly do this and do that without regard for whether it's legal or not. Look, I think people are going to have to make up their mind. I can tell you this, no matter what happens in this election, for years to come, there are many people on the right, in the media, and voters at large that are going to be having to explain and justify how they fell into this trap of supporting Donald Trump, because this is not going to end well one way.
Just want us to hold on to that for when he decides to run in 28. I just want us to hold on to that because he's going to try to separate himself. He already kind of is. We've seen it in when he held the presser because Caroline Leavitt's still on maternity leave, and so he held the presser, and he's trying to separate himself. Just remember that he has to explain. Let's use his own words against him. He is going to have to explain why he fell into the trap that is Donald Trump.
Or the other. He's going to be the nominee, and he's going to lose.
Turtle hands, we have nuclear weapons that can reach all the other countries. Why do I care that Iran has weapons that can reach Berlin? Are they threatening Berlin? Are we threatening? Oh, we threaten countries all the time. Interesting. It's interesting to me that they can't have a defense.
Or he'll have thrown this party into its most chaotic and divisive period ever. And that's unfortunate because the Republican Party is the home of the limited government free enterprise movement in America. And if it crumbles or it divides or it splits apart, it'll be very difficult to elect candidates that hold those views at any level of government until we can bring the party back together.
That's what happens if you sell your soul. Rubio, that's what happens. All right. I got a few more clips in way of Rubio. So Cory Booker is going to talk to Rubio about how are we winning this war? How are we winning? Because we are in a stalemate with them. How are we winning? And Rubio is going to say we already won. You know that thing Donald Trump keeps doing? We've won, but we haven't, but we need to, but we don't need the strait because we don't use the strait, but also open the strait, you crazy bastards, on Easter. Which one is it?
Of billions of dollars of reconstruction costs just to get to where they were 6
Mr. Rubio, you keep telling us how we're winning this war.
Turtle hands, you said they can make 12 or so. Berlin, London, Paris, Israel. Why chance that? Don't allow it. Why aren't we going after Putin? Why aren't we going after North Korea? Huh? North Korea literally plays propaganda imagery every single day of them nuking us. Did you know that? That's part of their state media. It's like showing the United States blowing up every single day. We can't allow that, can we, turtle hands? Oh, but we do. They write love letters to each other.
What country has ever used a nuke?
Oh, I think there was this one. I can't remember the name of it.
The only country to ever use a nuke on another country. And yet you guys do panties in a bunch about other countries having nuclear capabilities, except it's mainly brown and black countries. You don't like the idea of them having nukes.
But it doesn't bother you that Israel has nukes that they don't talk about. We know they have them, but they aren't part of any non-proliferation agreement. Did you know that? Did you know that? W's to oh me, oh my for the 15-6-7. I appreciate you. That brings us down to an even 50. So, guys, can we please keep working on that goal with about 45 minutes left to go? I know that we can get that accomplished. You guys are fantastic and fucking amazing. W's to oh me, oh my. Thank you so much for your support. And we are going to continue this video about the war.
The president keeps saying,
well, the war's over.
Completely annihilated.
I'm sorry, Rubio, what was that?
Saying,
well, the war's over.
Completely annihilated. The war is not over. And yet
the war is over? Then why are we still over there? Why are we still striking them if the war is over? Why do you keep letting them fucking lie to you like this? The war's not fucking over. We're still there.
The American people see how we're losing at the pump and with their costs, and yet this thing still has.
Iran would use them. Look at the extent they're going to get them. Yeah, and Kim Jong-un was testing his fucking missiles in the ocean, and Donald Trump went over there and visited and said they are going to stop, and guess what? They restarted them again.
Hasn't been resolved. Every day he tweets out, oh, we've obliterated them, we've annihilated them, they're going to surrender. But yet we still find ourselves spending billions of dollars a week
Senator
on
Booker,
war abroad.
you've gone way over. And
It would be nice if we had hearings where people.
Thank
had
you,
to be held
Senator
accountable.
Booker. Senator Scott.
The only thing I'll say is Senator Booker's time was over. Risch, who is a Republican, but he's actually really good about mediating, so I don't blame him for getting mad. If your time is over, your time is over. But, you know, yeah, what extent? What extent are they going to? How are they working so hard to actually bomb Berlin or Israel or London? Can you tell me that? And then that was because did I get no, I left it, but that's why. All right. Iran closed the strait. Now, Trump is the one who keeps saying, we closed the strait. You blockaded the blockade. Again, if I say I'm not coming outside and you say, nobody's coming outside, I'm going to say, duh, dumb fuck, I just said that. But, you know, Rubio has to glaze Donald Trump's taint the way that you guys all do. And so he's going to say that Iran was the one who closed the strait. But what he's going to get critiqued on, which is what we've critiqued all of you on, which is the fact that it didn't need to happen, and all of our intel said that they were going to do this. If they were bombed, if they were attacked, our intel said it was an absolute possibility that they were going to close the strait, and they did. And so now we are hearing from Rubio in other meetings, we are hearing from Scott Bessent in other meetings, that the now goal of the negotiation is to get it, quote, this is them saying this, back to the way it was. We could have just not bombed them.
So one of the things that I think is going to come about as a result of all this in the long term is more diversification in where they're going to get their energy from, including from the United States, potentially, certainly.
That's not true, Turtle Hands. You said they could keep everything, just no nukes. They refuse. That is not true. They were actively negotiating with us when we did Midnight Hammer, and they were and they were actively negotiating with us again when we did Epic Fury. Did you know that? They have talked about, and we have talked to, because where they are negotiating for the most part is in Pakistan and Oman, is that the foreign minister of Oman said that Iran had already agreed to allowing the enriched uranium to be taken to a third country. So I'm misinformed. Give me a source, Turtle Hands. The next thing I want to see out of you is an article title or an intelligence report title. If I do not see that, you are going to continue to be muted for every 5 minutes until I get that.
Some other countries in the region will benefit.
But you know that the sort of project.
It takes time.
It all
Why do I scream? Because I don't like idiots, Adeline.
takes time. So
understood.
That's like cold.
Iran never agreed. That's not a title, is it, Turtle Hands? Well, Turtle Hands, see you in 5 minutes. Find me that source. Find it for me. Maybe I've never seen it. Find it. Find it. I'm not saying that it doesn't exist. I am saying it doesn't exist. But maybe I haven't seen it. Give me the source. That they refused to move their enriched material in negotiations.
Comfort if you're running a country and your gasoline and your fertilizer and all your input prices just skyrocketed because of President Trump's decision.
Yes, Mark, frat boys are definitely naming these operations, by the way.
To go to war with a country clear across the world.
But see, I understand your point, but I also think in all these questions, we're getting a lot of questions about us. I don't think it's fair because ultimately, the people who have closed the Straits of Hormuz are Iran, and they're doing so in violation of every international.
And why? Why did they do that? Why did they close it? Could it be because we bombed them? Oh, okay. Chris, I'm glad I can amuse you.
National law you can imagine. The Chinese are against it. Everyone is. We have, I think, a record number, 140 co-sponsors at the United Nations on this resolution that hasn't come up for a vote yet to condemn what they're doing and to reopen
nobody's
the Straits.
defending what Iran is doing. I think what we're saying is this was not just.
And that's the thing. There's this problem within MAGA that because I am critiquing this administration and their handling of this situation, that I am somehow in support of the IRGC and their closing of the strait, or their attempt to now charge tolls for the strait. Or what are they calling it now? Maritime something. They're not calling it tolls anymore, but maritime something. It's tolls. I'm not agreeing with that. There is nuance and gray in the situation. What I'm saying, this did not need to happen in the first place. They were negotiating with us. Now, those negotiations take time. The JCPOA took around 21 months to negotiate. This is not going to be quick. And so the fact that he wants it to be quick so that it can be seen as good for his legacy and his ego is why it's even taking longer. And now Donald Trump is coming out and saying he doesn't even care while Americans are hurting. I have a problem with that. I didn't say I was pro-Iranian, Tony. Never said that. I am pro not bombing innocent Iranian people. However, I'm not talking about the IRGC. I would like it if we didn't double tap schools. That would be great. But we didn't need to be there in the first place because they were negotiating.
Predictable. It was predicted.
It is, Z-Spark, you're right. You said it's very, you don't support the war, so you don't care about 9/11 coded from 20 years ago. Absolutely. When I can just critique both.
This was what everybody said. You don't have to be some expert in foreign policy. You don't need to get into a skiff. You could literally put this into an LLM and say, what'll happen if we take kinetic action against Iran? And the first thing that would pop out is, well, they'll probably close the Strait of Hormuz. So it's really shocking to me the degree to which this administration expresses shock that the thing that everybody said was going to happen ended up happening.
But here's the point I would make on that, in that the reverse of that is, so that the alternative is to say, well, then we have to go ahead and let Iran develop a nuclear weapon, or they'll...
No, that's not the alternative. Oh my God. No, the alternative was to continue negotiations. Actually, the alternative was for Trump not to tear up the JCPOA in 2018. That actually was the solution, was to continue the JCPOA, and then if he won again, and here we would be, it would have expired or sunset in December of 2025, we could have re-upped a new deal and had new negotiations. Actually, that was the option. Rubio is going to be disingenuous and say that the option was allowing them to have a nuclear weapon. What? Our own intel doesn't even say that. They lie to you to scare you. You guys are conservatives. You are scared of everything. You're scared of everything. It is in your name. You are conserving the past because you are scared of progression in the future. You're scared of everything, and you let them lie to you, and you glaze their taint for it, and I don't fucking get it. I will never understand it. It's not doing anything for you. It is only hurting you and your family. And then this is just me being petty. Rubio gets asked about the fact that, which I commented on and I critiqued when it happened. Do you guys remember when JD Vance, and if you've been watching me, and hopefully you are and supporting me, JD Vance and Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner went to Pakistan to do negotiations. The negotiations ended in a stalemate that went nowhere, right, with Iran. But they went. Do you guys remember when the weekend they went to Pakistan? And I specifically critiqued about one person who wasn't with them. Do we remember who that was? Who Monica said, I don't understand why they're not there. Oh, it was Marco Rubio because he's the fucking Secretary of State. I said, why isn't Rubio going? This is literally his fucking job. Sure, send Vance, send Witkoff. I don't know why Jared Kushner is there because he actually does not have a job officially within the government, but okay, send those fuckers. But why isn't Rubio going? You know where Rubio went instead that weekend? Instead of doing his job negotiating as the Secretary of State, he went to a UFC fight, and he's going to crash out about the fact he's being asked, why the fuck were you at the UFC fight? Newshound is on it. I love you, Newshound.
I'd like to remind the American people that as the Secretary of State, your main duty as America's chief diplomat is to maintain our relations with foreign nations. This is why I was shocked to see that you were at a party with President Trump in Miami instead of accompanying Vice President Vance to Pakistan for negotiations.
What party was I at? I was at a party?
It's publicly reported, and there's photos there.
But what party? No, but you're going to say that. I'm going to answer it. I'm going to answer that question because that's an absurd statement. I was not at a party.
Finish my paragraph, he can answer.
People are going to slander me. I'm going to answer
Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, both of whom were never confirmed by this body to be America's diplomats, accompanied the vice president in the negotiations. Even Iran's foreign minister was not there, yet you were not, was there, excuse me, and you were not. I just feel that's embarrassing for us, and it's embarrassing for you. So, Mr. Secretary, Congress represents the American people. We have the power to confirm who represents America abroad. We confirmed you to be our Secretary of State. We confirmed you to be in the negotiations that are happening. And it's just unthinkable to me that you are missing high stakes negotiations or that you're not involved. It's sad.
Senator Rosen,
Here's the thing, JD. If the negotiations were a stalling tactic by Iran, our intel would also see that, and our intelligence is not seeing that. Google totally agrees Iran has never agreed to scrap nuclear weapons. Well, here's the thing, turtle hands. Don't know if you know this, as many are already pointing out to your idiot ass. So you get another 5 minutes until you can come back with an actual article title or an intelligence report. Google is a search engine, not a source. So Google didn't say shit. You are lazy and you used Google AI Overview instead of looking at the actual copy links or the little paper clips that Google would cite. Find me what Google is citing to say that Iran never agreed to scrap its nuclear enrichment. They had agreed to move it. That was the intel that we had, that they agreed to move it. Oh, I do.
your time.
Thank
Your
you.
time's up.
Do you mean this one? Do you mean that one? Mm-hmm. It's okay. He's going to explain. He was working very hard.
Yield back.
But
so let me
Senator Secretary Rubio,
You're
should have the
100%
opportunity to
inaccurate
reply.
and 100% wrong. Here's why. Number one, the Vice President of the United States was there, and he wasn't confirmed by the Senate. He was elected by the American people. Okay? He is the second in line of the presidency of the United States.
Tony, you can cite me that. Where did the leader come out and say we are going to keep going after nukes? Show me that, please. Happy Pride, mac and cheese.
He was president. Mr. Witkoff is the president's envoy for negotiation for peace deals. Mr. Kushner is a private citizen that serves as an advisor on these functions. They were the team that we sent to Pakistan. I was not at a party. Where I was is next to the president. Because in the midst of those negotiations, I was in communications with them. And in fact, I think there is media reporting from that evening on how on multiple occasions I went into a back room, I came back out and spoke to the president and was constantly updating him. On that evening,
Okay, so you weren't at a party. The president was at a party and you were with him.
I spoke to Mr. Kushner and our negotiating team and Mr. Witkoff on at least 6 occasions, including twice on a secure line from the phone they had access to over there. So you don't know what you're talking about. You're just
Senator
making
Rosen,
stuff up.
he has the floor.
I know your staff wrote up this cute statement for your TikTok video, but it's not true.
I'm so mad.
And it's not real. That's not what happened. Okay? I'm the National Security Advisor and Secretary of State. I was co-located with the president in the midst of a high-stakes negotiation so that I could immediately inform him about events occurring halfway around the world. I was where I needed to be at that moment.
No, you needed to be in Pakistan doing negotiations because that's your fucking job.
Because we had a very capable team on the ground in Pakistan, led by the vice president.
Apparently not. Apparently they weren't very capable because they came back with nothing. They came back with nothing. So they weren't very capable, were they?
Led by the vice president of the United States.
Thank you.
Oh, sweetheart. Except for... Yeah. That looks like a guy who was working very hard to have conversations that ended in a stalemate about Iran in Pakistan. I know, right? Right, Chicky? Rubio could have been in Pakistan and then relayed to a different person to relay it to Donald Trump. Yeah, why would he need to be in person with the president to inform him about what's happening elsewhere? He wouldn't. They have an entire team of people. That's what his cabinet is for. She should have asked him why he looked drunk. Yeah, all of that. That's tough. Iran, that's not how it's pronounced in English. Really? How's tortilla pronounced in English? It's not an English word, you dumb fuck. It's a Persian word. Tortilla is a Spanish word. So yeah, of course it's not pronounced that way in English, because it's not a fucking English word. Idiots. Okay. 30 minutes left. What do I want to get to here? Don't have time for that. Let's go through a couple truths real quick. So, in case you haven't heard, I apologize for it being so tiny. It actually is bigger when I'm outside of it, which is interesting. Okay. I am appointing the director of the Federal Housing Finance Agency and chairman of Fannie Mae Freddie Mac, William J. Pulte, colloquially known as Bill Pulte, to serve as acting director of national intelligence, taking over Tulsi Gabbard's job. Tulsi Gabbard has resigned and stepped down. Because supposedly, according to her, because she's helping with her husband who was diagnosed with cancer. William has deep experience managing the most sensitive matters in America, the safety and soundness of the markets, and over $10 trillion at Fannie Mae Freddie Mac, a substantial increase from where it was 12 months ago. He also has been a giant failure in his attempt to weaponize the system and go after Letitia James for her mortgages. I think he tried to go after James Comey. It was their favorite thing was to try to go after them for their mortgages, and it was failing. So I'm sure he's going to do great as DNI, even though he has no experience in intelligence. At least Tulsi Gabbard had experience. Like, I don't like Tulsi Gabbard. I didn't like her in the seat. However, she actually made the most sense to me. To be honest, even Rubio being picked Secretary of State made sense to me from a political standpoint. I was like, yep, Rubio has the experience to be Secretary of State. Now, he's a spineless little sniveling coward, but Tulsi Gabbard absolutely made sense as part of the DNI. Right, just more evidence we don't need a DNI. They're not working, so apparently we don't. During this period, he will remain director of the Federal Housing Finance Agency and chairman of Fannie Mae Freddie Mac. Congratulations to Director Pulte. Again, just acting. I don't think he understands that. They only have a limited amount of time they're allowed to do that. So he's going to wear many hats. That's going to lead to efficiency, I'm sure. I'm sure that's going to lead to so much efficiency to have somebody in charge of the housing market, also in charge of intelligence. Yeah, that's going to work out well. And then let's move on to Donald Trump having a bitch hissy fit about his 34 felonies again. When a star witness totally recants, which that's questionable, I've not seen where Michael Cohen totally recanted. If anybody can show me that, that would be great. Tony, did you have that source for me? Tony, do you have that source? Or I can start. Article is from April. Okay. What's the title? Article is from April. Did you write the title up here and I just missed it? You said, how do you not realize Iran was close to nukes and they'd use it right away? That's not helpful. Blaming our negotiators and not Iran. Where's the title from? From April. I'm looking to see your... Yeah, and they were in the final stages of getting a nuke. Don't act like you know. Except intelligence doesn't say that. My ears are bleeding. Tony... No, it's Turtle Hands and Tony now. Turtle Hands has his own shit to find, and now Tony has his shit to find. Okay. Anyway, when a star witness totally recants and in every way reveals that he was pressured and coerced to give testimony, and when the prosecutor admits that this witness was the single reason that the case was brought, there was no other, how can that case not be immediately dismissed? That is exactly what happened in the Democrat New York Attorney General and Manhattan District Attorney's hoaxes against me. Michael Cohen has come out and unequivocally stated that the radical left prosecutors Tish James and Alvin Bragg pressured and coerced him to testify against your president, me, when they made him the key player in their political witch hunts. I haven't seen that. Where? Now that his testimony is wiped away, it's not. That's not how that works. And the un-American political charade cases are even further discredited. They should be put out of their misery and dismissed once and for all. Well, that's too bad because that's not what's happening in appeals, is it? Our Constitution and the rule of law demand immediate and swift dismissal, as well as for the perpetrators of the radical left lawfare and weaponization to be held criminally responsible for their terrible misdeeds. We have to restore confidence and honor in our justice system. I am an innocent man who has been horribly treated. Hopefully the courts will do what everyone knows should be done. Thank you, President Donald J. Trump. Again, no. He's losing his appeals in regards to his 34-count felonies, and he can keep crying about that because they're not going anywhere because he committed a crime. As in the words of the great Jim Carrey, stop breaking the law, asshole! Don't know what to tell you about that. Guys, it is a little after 11:30. I see that we have hit over 100,000 likes. I'm so sorry for missing that. Thank you guys so much. Tappers over here on TikTok. You guys are fucking fantastic, hitting 112,000 likes, and I have 30 minutes left to go in my regular time. Sometimes I go over, but we will see. Thank you guys so much. Keep rocking it. Keep tapping. You guys are doing the good things, and your partners will thank you. I know you have little muscles on those fingers, and that does help with the ribbing for your partners, just so you know. I'm helping you out. Again, just helping helping you. So guys, make sure we are continuing to do the good things over there on YouTube. Hit that thumbs up button. I would appreciate it. Guys over there on Twitch, I still see you. Hi, Surgeon. I see you as well. And make for her pleasure. Guys, make sure that we get the rest of this goal down in 30 minutes. That would be awesome. I have 5-0 left in that goal. Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, all in the link trees in my bio. Guys, this is how I pay my bills. This is my job, much to MAGA's dismay. So let's prove to them that I am the grifting person that they think that I am. They hate their 9-to-5s. They truly hate capitalism so much. They really do. They just don't realize it, and they don't like the titles that come along with that, but they hate capitalism. So let's just prove to them that you can actually do capitalism good. And let's finish off my goal and prove that this is a job. All right. I cannot get to that today, so we're going to leave that for another day. Hopefully not for too long, but we'll get there. I'm going to go through my Republican simps that I've had on here for a little while. I'm going to go through that. What is that? I want to read that while I get this going. Okay. So Megyn Kelly has been having a crisis of faith, belief, personhood. I don't know. Could also be for his or their pleasure. Happy Pride. There's my incidentally gay Blue. See, you know when to chime in. I'm so proud of you. Welcome. I love you, Blue. I'm sorry. Megyn Kelly is having a crisis of her persona, of who she is. And so she's talking about here in this clip, it's a little bit older, but we're going to get to newer ones. She's going to talk about the fact that Donald Trump promised no new wars, and yet here we are. This is not social media welfare. It is absolutely capitalism because I get paid for my service that I provide. Cry harder.
It's stunning to me that the people who voted for the man who said over and over, not only no new wars, but no war with Iran, no Middle East wars, and specifically over and over said Iran, and also said the Democrats are going to get us into a war with Iran.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
That the people who voted for him, that was not a small thing. That was not a throwaway line. That was a massive part of his campaigning and his promising. That those people on a dime were like, yes, we're pro war with Iran. Yes, Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. We all know that that's a lie. It's so obvious that that's a lie to get us into this conflict, that they were not on the verge of developing a nuclear weapon. I mean, truly, you don't have to do a lot of fact checking to figure that out. Trump's own intelligence agency said they're not. They're nowhere close. The IAEA, there was no one other than Israel saying they're on the verge, and they'd been saying it for years. So, like, you'd really have to be willing to delude yourself to go along with that.
You're losing your people, and you're losing them hard. So let's go to this one. I didn't get a chance to get to it. And it makes me laugh. So this was JD Vance.
So I've watched a few highlights of graduation speeches where this or that corporate leader will discuss artificial intelligence, AI, and be met with literal boos.
So in case you missed that, there have been multiple college graduations where corporate people were speaking. Rich people in charge of corporations speaking and talking about the benefits of AI. And these college students who know that it is very likely they could lose whatever jobs they're applying for to AI, booed the fuck out of them. Rightfully so. So apparently that bothered JD Vance.
Now you can't boo me, I'm the vice.
What party was Jim Crow in Democrats? Jerry, you fucked up that sentence, didn't you? What you meant was, what party was Jim Crow during Reconstruction? It was the Dixiecrats, not the Democrats. It was actually the Dixiecrats. And there was something called, they usually colloquially call it the party switch. I do not call it that. I call it the ideology switch. You can look into and read the Southern strategy. I'm so sorry that you're so far behind on that.
President of the United States.
So he says you can't boo him, by the way.
Intelligence, AI, and be met with literal boos. Now you can't boo me, I'm the Vice President of the United States.
What I take from that is the Michael Scott from The Office take, which is, you know what? I'm going to do it even harder. So have fun going to any kind of public event now, JD. JD's not popular. You guys can say JD Vance 2028 all you want. Donald Trump isn't even endorsing him, so that's something you should probably look Brooke Rollins came out recently. Brooke Rollins is in charge of the USDA. In case you don't know that, she is the secretary of the USDA. I can tell his kids don't like him. By the way, he named one of his children after one of his best friends, Vivek Ramaswamy. So that's interesting. But Brooke Rollins is going to come out and talk about the fact, again, where 4 million people have been lifted off of SNAP. Not lifted, but removed. Because they've changed the requirements. They've removed them off of SNAP. But what she's going to say is she can't differentiate why they've been removed. Hi, babe.
Hi. So after that speech, he had to cancel a speaking event in Denver because of a lack of input. So
I forgot about that.
So that's how unpopular the fucker is.
Getting events canceled left and right. Look, and you got people being racist towards his wife. These are your people, and you're being racist towards his wife. What is wrong with you? Yikes. Anyway, Brooke Rollins saying, we don't know why they're removed, but they're removed.
People working today than ever before. So as we have moved about 4 million people off of SNAP, we don't have the exact data, how much of that is fraud, how much of that is people just moving into the American dream and off of the welfare programs, but we think
we don't know how much of that is fraud or how much of that is people moving into the American dream. You don't have those numbers? And you're sitting here. You have been sitting here for weeks, ever since the Big Beautiful Bill Act was signed into law, which you guys are trying to change the name of. You've been touting and praising for weeks that you guys have lifted people off of SNAP. You said yourself you don't know what is fraud and you don't know what is people being removed for the American dream. What if you're actually removing people who need that help? What if it's that, Brooke Rollins? Could it be that?
it's probably pretty
She doesn't
significant.
know.
No, she doesn't know.
That yes, this is the goal. And when we hear so much pushback that, well, y'all, why are you moving? Why are you kicking people off? If you are, and by the way, one of the most important pieces of the One Big Beautiful Bill of the Working Families Tax Cut.
That's what they're trying to change it to. They keep trying to call it the Working Families Tax Cut Act. That's not what the fuck it's called. The title of it is the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. The reason they are trying to call it something different is because the One Big Beautiful Bill is not popular with the people. So they're trying to change the name of it to make it sound like it's something else.
Was requiring able-bodied adults without small children at home to actually look for a job or perhaps work 15 or 20 hours a week.
Except that we knew that over 70% of the adults who were receiving SNAP were already working full-time or part-time jobs. That was already a thing.
To continue on that program. I say all of that because these programs should not be a handout. They should be a hand up. And people...
Duh. That's what they were. Maybe if you guys could fix it so that inflation stops outpacing wage growth and get that great economy that he campaigned on, maybe people wouldn't need the help. So remember yesterday I showed you Trump's truth in regards to sit back and relax and everything will end well. It always does. And that was in regards to Iran. Well, this is Representative Sherry Biggs saying we just have to trust him. Why? Why should I trust him? He hasn't given me any fucking reason to do that.
Your expertise here, because quite frankly, it doesn't sound like the Iranians are speaking English the same way we do.
By the way, Tony and Turtle Hands seem to have disappeared. No source to be found. I wonder why they don't call me.
Because what they think is in the agreement and what we say is in there, two different things. What do you think is happening?
Well, good morning, and thank you so much for having me. Iran is so complex, and I think that's what...
Where'd she run to? Why is she saying that?
The average individual does not realize, and President Trump is maneuvering this. He's handling this so carefully because he wants...
Captain Crunch, you did the thing.
What about Biden?
So, Biden couldn't string a sentence together is the word you're missing, so you don't seem to be able to string a sentence together either, or walk up a flight of stairs. I'd be with Trump because the alternatives are madness, literal madness, literal madness. Did you miss where we went over for the 4th time yesterday, Donald Trump bragging about the fact that he aced his cognitive test, getting 30 out of 30, and we actually went over the cognitive test that he took. It's called MOCA, it is the Montreal Cognitive Assessment, and how they ask him hard questions. Remember, he said the questions are difficult. Hard questions like identifying a horse or a tiger or a giraffe and repeating words and repeating numbers. It is so difficult. Yeah, sure, you would be with Trump, who is bragging about his 4th cognitive test that you really only get prescribed by your doctor if they're worried about Alzheimer's or dementia, but sure.
To make good decisions. And I feel like he has a lot more information than you see on the news media. And I think we have to trust him. The American people elected President Trump for a reason. And it's because he has the backbone. He has the intelligence to get things.
Captain Crunch, call. Let's call and talk about it. You don't know anything about the first subject, for one. And the second subject you also don't know anything about. You don't know what a sanctuary city is and what it does.
It's done. And I agree.
Little brain deadness. Try again.
Agree with his tweet. We need to sit back and relax and just continue to pray and have the backs of our servicemen and women. That's the most important thing.
No, I'm not going to sit back, relax, and pray. I'm going to hold him accountable for a war he started that we didn't need to be in. Absolutely the fuck not. How about you do that? Because that's your job as a representative. You need that shirt. This one?
Lifting the blockade on the straits during Pride Month is wild.
Yeah, we need to put the blockade back on the straits.
You can't just wait till July.
And that's not true.
Blockade the straits.
That's not true, Captain Crunch. I was not. A lot of people were not. I don't know if you know who the Pod Save Bros are, but the Pod Save America Bros specifically spoke about Biden's mental acuity and his age literally all the time. They have a podcast every Tuesday and Friday, and they have ones in between that as well. And they literally talked about Biden's mental acuity and his age all the time. People in the media were talking about it all the time. I also spoke on it. I could understand what he was saying. The only thing I really admonished him for was his debate performance, which was absolutely terrible. Yeah. So come back to reality, Captain Crunch, where people actually critique people that they vote for. I know that that's hard for you because you just like to glaze Trump's taint, even though he's giving you nothing. All you have is feelings in your tum-tum. And I don't get paid enough for that therapy. But speaking of getting paid, guys, 15 minutes. Let's work on that 5-0, please. I know you guys can do it. $1 train, $2 train, $5 train. One person sending 50, and I will thank you forever. Let's work on that
I'll go
goal.
away for the week. If one person sends 50, I'll leave for the week.
Such a liar.
Someone do it.
Okay. This one was one of my favorites that I came across today. So, Kellyanne Conway went on Fox News. If you don't know who Kellyanne Scarecrow Conway is, she has a divorce now because her husband said, "You're fucking insane." But if you don't know her, she is the one who coined the term alternative facts, which is now the reality that you all live in, is alternative facts that you can't prove. Just feelings in your tum-tum. Now, Graham Plattner is doing very well in the polling. It looks like it's going to be a tight race, but I think he can actually take Susan Collins on. I think this is going to work. That scares the fuck out of MAGA and Republicans. So they're trying to go after his controversies that we have talked about on this platform many times. We will continue to talk about as the race gets closer. And because of those controversies, Kellyanne Conway says that she wants the Democrats to go against them. And she wants the Democrats to go against him specifically because they had to go against one very specific person.
They may, Sean, but they're not uncomfortable enough. Remember, everybody who's a Republican anywhere had to disclaim David Duke, even if we never met him, had a meal with him, agreed with anything he said.
Everyone in the Republican Party had to disclaim David Duke.
Are you fucking kidding me?
You mean the Grand Wizard of the KKK? I'm so sorry, Kellyanne, that you had to disavow David motherfucking Duke. That's why your husband divorced you. That's why your kids don't talk to you.
Who's a Republican anywhere, had to disclaim David Duke, even if we never met him, had a meal with him, agreed with anything he said. I want every single Democrat who's running as a United States Senate candidate this year to step away from this guy, to tell him to get off the ticket. This guy needs to go and take care of his family. They've been married for 2 short years. He's bored already. Please don't stop with the Nazi tactic.
What? You think he's running for office because he's bored in his marriage? Okay. Bitch, you're divorced. Your husband was real fucking bored of you.
Please cover it all up. I'm so tired of seeing your naked body and hearing about your family drama. We can't.
Your naked body? Is she okay?
Can't have him as one of 100 senators representing a country of 335 million. We can do better than that.
But it's so tough for her because she had to disclaim David Duke. It's so tough. Must be tough for her. Okay. Now we're going to go to a couple clips on Sean Ryan. One of your favorite gaffes. Did you share? What is it?
We are a nation that just recently heard that Saudi Arabia and Russia will repeat.
I forgot about that one.
The music behind it is sending me.
But you know, I have mine.
Undisputed. Just when did this come out?
But yeah, you know, he can string a sentence together real good.
Can he?
It can only good happen.
I hate it here. Collectively, I hate it here.
I think do I have that one anymore? I don't remember. I don't remember if I have the Tylenol one either.
I see that. What does that say?
Oh.
Not to breathe out is wild.
It did. Wait, okay, hold on. We're gonna find it now. Okay.
Guys, it's a distraction. Do the goal.
Damn it! No, I gotta Google it. Let's go to Google. Trump. Mispronouncing.
While she finds that, I'll lower the offer to 25 and I'll disappear for the week.
You lower it to 25.
Wait, ICE was arrested.
You touched the goal though?
Chicky touched the goal?
Chicky did touch the goal while I get this advertisement up. Eek.
Acetaminophen.
W's to Chicky for the $5 for blockade the Straits. We do need to blockade the Straits. During Pride Month, the Straits are being released? Absolutely not. We can't have that.
Not released is wild.
Put them back.
Put them back in there. Put them back.
Here you go. He strings words together so good it can only good happen.
First, effective immediately, the FDA will be notifying physicians that the use of well, let's see how we say that. Acetaminophen.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
No.
Which is basically commonly known as Tylenol.
No, that's a brand of it. That's not. I hate it here. That's your man. That's my man.
Drip, drip. I don't stand by that one. The fuck you talking about?
So we're gonna move to Sean Ryan. Yeah, I'm gonna clip that. Sean Ryan runs the podcast, and he has always been a Trump tank glazer, but most recently he's not. He's actually changed a lot. Not necessarily his views of being conservative, but he has just changed his support of Trump. And so I'm going to play, he had Megyn Kelly on, so I'm going to play this conversation that he had, and then I have one more that I'm going to play. But can I get huge W's to Oh Me Oh My for the $20 PayPal? Thank you so much. W's, Oh Me Oh My. I want to say like lion, tigers, and bears every time I read your name, but that brings us down to 25, guys. I know we can get this accomplished. You guys are fucking amazing.
They were so
Thank
close to getting rid of me.
So
Suckers.
Why not the combo, though?
No, I said from one person specifically.
Damn it! Terms and services apply.
No, well, I mean, if someone knocks out the remaining 25,
then he's
the
gone.
terms and services have been met.
Thank you, Newshound. I saw it. I am going to read that. I appreciate you. So then I can have an update on that. Because if I was misinformed on that in regards to his rant of his truth and Michael Cohen, I will gladly talk about that tomorrow. So thank you. I will read that later tonight. Okay, so Sean Ryan and Trump.
I just don't see any positivity coming out of this administration. It seems very self-serving. I have a list of shit printed I could go through, but what was the last one? He fucking made it so he had Todd Blanche do the dirty work so that him or anybody in his family could never be audited by the IRS. What the fuck is that shit?
Now remember, that was supposed to be part of this settlement deal of instead of suing the IRS for $10 billion, it was going to be an anti-weaponization fund for $1.776 billion. And on top of that, Todd Blanche, who was Donald Trump's personal attorney before being appointed deputy attorney general, he is now acting attorney general, issued a deal alongside that settlement of Donald Trump, his children, and any of their businesses cannot be audited for their taxes any point in time in the future.
The drone company, the $400 million jet from Qatar.
The drone company that his children created, a brand new company that Eric Trump and Donald Trump Jr. created that then received DoD contracts. The $400 million Qatari jet that gets added to his presidential library, but he gets to take it with him when he's done.
Yep.
Yeah, Eli, we need like a montage of his gaffes. That would be even better, Button. Just all of his gaffes. So anytime they bring up Biden and his gaffes, which he was old, but we can, don't tell me that Donald Trump was better. Airplanes at the revolution. Oh, God, I can't even. All the sounds he makes.
Is it the Executives Club? You know about that?
Yeah, that they started in D.C.
You don't hear about any of this shit.
Yeah.
Does this shit look like he's serving the fucking people? No. So you're going to serve that? Or are you going to speak out against it and let everybody know what the fuck is happening?
You think he'd be better off?
Fox News sure as fuck isn't reporting any of this shit.
Bing, big.
None of it. No, I there's no question
Obama.
that the corruption in the administration has been far beyond what
He
I ever
sued the
expected.
fucking government. He sued his own fucking government.
Sean Ryan's also having a crisis, but at least I think he has a little bit more principle than Megyn Kelly did or does. And here is Sean Ryan, and he admits to the fact that he was duped. He uses that word, and good for him for admitting that, because that's the thing you guys can't do. I keep saying, Ari used to say, because you guys would come up and say, I voted for Obama. And so Ari would say that Obama won 100% of the vote, according to you guys. And now I have now flipped that and said that one day, Donald Trump will have won 0% of the vote. Because you guys will say you never voted for him and that you never supported him when you did, because you just can't admit that you've been duped.
I don't know. I don't know what to think anymore. I don't even trust my own intuition when it comes to politics because
You probably shouldn't, to be fair. You and everybody who listened to you for all these years continued to glaze Trump's taint and support him. So yeah, you probably shouldn't trust your intuition in regards to politics anymore.
thought things were going to be so different, and I got fucking duped.
Nobody knows anything about anything.
No, you don't know anything about anything. We do. Don't put that shit on me.
The holding of the hand is fucking sending me no, you know what the fuck exactly what you did. Any single huge content creator, specifically right-winger, who's now I regret my vote. You fucking know everything that you were doing at that point in time. I don't want to hear shit from you.
Are you talking about voters or them specifically?
Them specifically, not voters.
Okay. Yeah. No, Megyn Kelly knew. Sean Ryan knew. I will say he uses the word duped and I appreciate it. Maybe it'll start the thing that they will do it, but the voters might have been duped, but yeah.
You better not have Blue.
The content open Blue, would you like to open the straight to Ray pipeline? W's to Blue for the $25 Venmo. Goodbye. The $25 on Venmo opened the Straight to Ray pipeline. I still absolutely, by the way, I think it would be a great idea. What was brought up yesterday, and I can't remember who brought it up yesterday, but thank you to you, to put that on a shirt, to my rant from yesterday.
Oh, I gotta finish making the little yep. Yeah. What's the word I'm thinking of? It's like another word for emblem.
An emblem?
Yeah. For the Keystone the pipeline.
Yeah, because I like my little simple illustrated pie, but I almost feel like it needs to have like a pipe dripping coming out of it or something. Maybe I'm not sure. Yeah,
I don't like my pie drippy.
like that. But yeah, then you could have that like on the front or on like the corner, and then you could have my rant on the back. That would be fucking great.
I'll figure it out. Guys, we finished my goal. I have $20 left. Links are in my bio. You don't have to if you don't want to, but
Yes,
links
they do.
are there.
Don't tell them that.
Okay, never mind.
Absolutely finish out Olive's goal. It's only 20. I know you guys can do it. So the link tree is in her bio. So go click her profile picture, go to her link tree, and let's finish off that 20 as we finish off today.
All I think of now is just drip, drip ever since you said pipe in the pie.
I said pipe coming out of the pie, not pipe in the pie. Those are two different things. Insight.
Pipe in the pie.
So
I am Clark.
So here's Megyn Kelly and Sean Ryan again.
It's one of the themes of the year. The thing is, like, the Trump thing is so disappointing because he did seem like he was going to be different. You know, he was independently wealthy, so there was some reason to believe he wasn't going to need their money or be swayed by it. He's such a fighter and a middle finger.
Again, that shows me you're either being dishonest or you're an idiot. Because although he was independently wealthy, he was also independently bankrupt 6 times. And we knew that he was really bad about paying contracts that he issued out. And his money came from his father, and his money came from investments. Trump University, Trump Steaks, Trump Airline, all of them fucking failed. Why? Because he wasn't good at doing business, but he was good at taking other people's money. He's good at running Ponzi schemes. And now he's doing it inside of the White House. And you gave him that power, Megyn Kelly.
Walking middle finger.
I don't know. I don't know what to think anymore.
But they were duped. They were duped. Sure. I mean, the only thing I say is I welcome it only because the people they listen to, you know, that's what that is. W's to Steve for the 25 on PayPal. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take that and I'm going to send that to Olive so that Olive's goal is done. That's what I'm going to do.
Well, maybe you take the 5 though. I don't need I just need the 20. I don't want the 5.
Okay. So W's to Steve. We're going to count that as Steve completing Olive's goal, and I will send that over to her. I know that's not you didn't write me a message, but thank you. W's to you. Thank you so much. But we're going to use that to complete the goal because that's how we help community and making sure that our content creators are tipped and paid properly. So we're going to do it that way. So thank you, because I want to make sure that I appreciate further donations than my goal, but I'm just going to spread it around. So I do have one more thing I'm going to play today. We need to find, well, we don't need to, but we can look for somebody to raid. But I am going to play one more thing. It's very near and dear to my heart. You said what, babe?
I was talking out loud. Okay. I was mistaken. Ignore me.
No, you're fine. Very near and dear to that heart. Does that mean no crayon for 2 weeks? I guess. As a nerd fan, but also just as a human, I think that it's very relevant to today. I don't want people to forget it, and so we're going to play it. First, I have to...
Obama.
Damn you, Eli.
Bing, bing, bong. Bing, bing, bong.
He speaks so goodly. So goodly, guys. Speaks so
goodly. It can only good happen.
Janae, you say you support everything Trump is doing. That's a problem, isn't it? But anyway, all right. Did y'all think I was kidding? No, I didn't think you were kidding. I absolutely knew you were serious about that. So I'm going to play this. If you are a nerd, if you are a Star Wars nerd, you might have watched Andor, one of the best things to come out of a Star Wars franchise in recent, because obviously we can't compete with the originals, but if you've watched Andor, or if you haven't, maybe this speech will speak to you. Times get tough. It is exhausting doing this. It is exhausting living it. It's exhausting fighting it. Yes, Eli. But we're going to keep doing it. We're going to keep fighting. Dust yourself off. Pick yourself up. I will always say take the breaks that you need to take, but we will not stop. They are loud, but they are few. And they know that they are few. And so we will keep going.
I'm assuming you've heard it before.
It's been hard to contain.
Just keeps spreading, doesn't it?
There will be times when the struggle seems impossible. I know this already. Alone, unsure, dwarfed by the scale of the enemy. Remember this. Freedom is a pure idea. It occurs spontaneously and without instruction. Random acts of insurrection are occurring constantly throughout the galaxy. There are whole armies, battalions that have no idea that they've already enlisted in the cause. Remember that the frontier of the rebellion is everywhere. And even the smallest act of insurrection pushes our lines forward. And then remember this. The Imperial need for control is so desperate because it is so unnatural. Tyranny requires constant effort. It breaks. It leaks. Authority is brittle. Oppression is the mask of fear. Remember that. And know this. The day will come when all these skirmishes and battles, these moments of defiance will have flooded the banks of the Empire's authority. And then there will be one too many. One single thing will break the siege. Remember this. Try.
Try. Keep trying.
I love that.
I have it. It's on my protest sign, actually. The one that I take to protest is Nemec's manifesto.
I love that.
So yeah.
Discord.
Oh my god.
That's
love it, actually.
All of that is through Canva. I told you I got
so
bit by
proud of
creative.
you.
I have been bit by a creative bug and I've been fucking with Canva again. So
Oh my god, I love that.
I feel like we can make that a t-shirt.
Yeah. So, because I was side note, but I was looking at the website that Crow had given me that he uses. So, if people, we just have to start getting some polling on what if people are willing and actually willing to spend, because then, guys, it does cost us money to invest in T-shirts and things like that. But if you are willing to purchase, I'm willing to make. So
we'll come up with some t-shirts and stuff. I know you guys, we talked about stickers, but I gotta recreate some of those because a lot of those were AI.
So we're working on it.
So we're working on a few things, but should I show?
Yeah, you can if you want to.
Sure.
DT, let me expand you.
That's what I was thinking for like the front of the shirt, and then the back would just be the rant. So
love that.
There we go.
Okay. I think
I don't really. I just see.
I think we're gonna raid Brett because he has raided me a couple times. So I think I'm gonna raid Brett. So he doesn't have a Twitch or a YouTube, does he?
Oh,
I don't think so.
I don't know if he does stream on YouTube anymore.
Yes, he does.
Is he streaming on that? Is he live?
Because he's live on TikTok. Let's see.
He's not live on YouTube.
Okay.
Hold, please. What am I holding on
Also,
to?
yeah, also true. Doing redirects. Okay, that's fine. That just means I can say goodbye to Twitch and YouTube, so I can do that. So Twitch, YouTube, thank you guys for being here. YouTube, you guys were very, very mad at me today, but again, refusing to call in with factually based information and not your feelings. So that sounds like a you problem. Stop glazing his taint just because he wants you to. Actually look up the facts. Stop being scared of everything. Stop hating everybody, including yourselves, and actually focus on progressing in the future for the benefit of all humanity. How about we do that? I will be back tomorrow, 10 a.m. Mountain Time, whatever time that is for you. Thank you, YouTube. Thank you so much for the super chats and the jewels. I appreciate you guys, and anybody who was over there who donated as well. Thank you for helping me knock the fuck out of my goal today. I will see you guys tomorrow. Again, I talked about maybe streaming the Colorado gubernatorial debate. I don't know if I will be able to, and if not, I'll just cover it tomorrow because I'm sure we're going to get hella fucking clips from whatever comes out of Victor Marx's fucking mouth. And Scott Bottoms is no better, by the way. Scott Bottoms is a Republican gubernatorial candidate who thinks that there's a giant pedophilia ring inside of the Democratic legislature of Colorado. So the answers to the questions are going to be very, very interesting tonight. And so I'm excited to go over that with you, however that happens. But I will see you tomorrow.